Hi guys, it's Belle here, and it is time for day 30 in hashtag Creep on June 2025. The final day, guys. I know so many of us are feeling really sad about it, but we've had a lot of fun throughout the month, and I'm going to enjoy this last make. As always, down below in my description box, you will find the links to Tracy Fox, who has created this amazing challenge. You'll find the links to her YouTube, her website and her Etsy. That's where you can also find her stunning Nevermore ledger kit that we have been working with all month. And don't forget, there is still the calendar where if you click on it, it will take you to the creator who's making something wonderful for the collaboration. And if you've missed any of the creators, go back and watch their videos and show them lots of support. I know we all really appreciate it. Now, before we get on to today's make, I want to just show you what I did on a few pieces. So firstly, I want to show you this was day 28, and I want to show you how the texture paste, I put it on much thicker so you still get this stunning texture on there. So we have some texture paste, but I also brought in some of the forest moss that goes grey just on the edges here. And just a little bit of splatter. I thought that worked really well. So that was day 28. And then yesterday's make, the end of Poe's story. So I wanted to show you again, I came on with some of the forest moss, which turns grey, and I just think that finishes that off really well. I also put a rub-on that says Lost and Found, because I felt like that really went with the story. And then on the tag itself, I added a rub-on down here. I added some of the forest moss, and then I've put Trust Your Heart with the rub-ons. And you can kind of see the heart bit through the window. Let me get that to you. You can kind of see it there. So yeah, that's those finished pieces. I just wanted to show you how they looked as I was playing. So today's make, it's the final make. We've finished Poe's story. So this is the base, and I thought, what better way to finish up Creep on June for me personally than to do a Frankenstein make. Now again, I don't know if this is going to go in the journal or not. I may decide not to do that, but yes, we are going to do a Frankenstein make. I think I'm just going to do a couple of tags, just tags. Let's just finish with that. And I pulled out these two images. They reminded me of, you know, in stately homes where you have someone's got a painting on the wall. That's what it reminded me of. And I kind of wanted to do, I could almost do a pocket that's a wall. No, we're going to do two tags. That's what we're going to do. And I just wanted to finish up with a Frankenstein's make. I've loved all of the images in the kit to do with Frankenstein. So many of you have said, after listening to me talk about it, which I've done a lot, that you have been encouraged to pick it up and read it, and that just makes me so excited to hear, guys. I mean, it really does. What one do I want? Let's go for these two maybe. So let's cut this first, and then I think I'm going to back these on some black card. There's not going to be any flips or tucks or anything like that. I just want to make a little Frankenstein tag piece. So let me grab some black card. So I've got my black card. First thing I want to do is I think I want to go around this in some ground espresso before putting it on the card. Yeah, I'm so excited to hear so many of you have wanted to pick it up and read it for the first time. And quite a few of you have mentioned that you'd love to see me do a Frankenstein's journal, which I know I've said I would really love to do. So who knows? I have, and I'm sure all of us journal makers do, I have such a long list of journals that I want to make. And I have little boxes full of bits that I've been collecting for different journals. And there just never seems to be enough time to actually even remotely make everything that I want to make. So we shall see. But yeah, I'm just so glad you've been enjoying it, guys. And I know Creep on June is finished, but as I said, I will still be working on the journal, so that will be coming in next week or two. And that is also when I will tell you the full story. Let's do it at 3.5. That just makes it easy. I will tell you the full story, my short story. I am not an author or a writer, guys, so please don't be disappointed in it. I feel like it's being built up, but it's not. It's going to be quite simple. But that's when you'll hear the full story for the make. So yes, just wanted to finish off with Frankie and his bride. That's what I wanted to do. Have a little bit of fun with the two of them. Now that we've finished with Poe, and he's kind of got his wish. I'm still waiting to see what you guys think of that, whether you like it, whether you think it's sad because you want them to be together. Like, I'm still interested to see what people think about that. I think I'm just going to glue these straight onto here. No messing about, just gluing them down. We'll probably mess about with the other bits. So this one's just going to be a little bit... It's gonna be simple steps, because I do want them to have a frame around them, so I'm thinking I'm going to gild and emboss that. Yeah, I was thinking of actually making them into a picture frame, and that might be something I do when I have a bit more time, is to turn these images into an actual little kind of miniature frame, because I just love so many of these images of Frankenstein's creature that I think it'd look great on my wall, especially next to the hanging I made for my day, which was day 21. If you have missed it, I turned some of Tracy's paper in the kit into fabric and made a little mixed media wall hanging. So yeah, check that out if you have missed it. That was a lot of fun, especially as I've never made something like that before. So we were all learning. It was less of a tutorial and more of a, what are we doing? Yeah, that'll do. That will do. I want to trim just a little bit. There's something about that side that looks a bit bigger than the other. Only slightly, but it's bothering my eye. So, okay, we have our things. And our two peeps are going to go on there. So what I have is I have my die, my beautiful ornate die. I can't even remember where this is from or anything. And I've already cut the frames in black, which will fit on here. But now what I want to do is I actually want to cut out Frankenstein and the bride so that they fit into the middle. There we go. We have them now. Go around and ink this. Trying to work out how I want to glaze this piece, like what color I want to use. I was thinking I would use some gold gilding and then possibly use vintage photo on it. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, they're just so lovely. That's what I'm thinking. So let's get some, why was that still in there? some of the gold gilding, because I don't want too much green, because they're both green already. So I don't want too much of that, but I also don't want them to just be plain. So let's add a little bit of the Art Alchemy gold. And just bring that on. We might be able to see it under some of the vintage photo. That's the word I'm going for. I've got to be so careful on here because of these little bits. They're all so delicate. So we'll have a look at that before we then. And if not, I'll just add some more gold on top. What's that bit doing there now? Oh no. And this is slightly textured, this card, so you see it picks up the gilding really well. Although I think this is my last piece. Well, I might have one more piece of textured card, so I need to go and restock on there. Now I am going to do another video where I show you all the pieces together before you then see the journal, because firstly it's going to take me a while to finish the journal, and secondly gosh, that's just going everywhere on my finger, and secondly I just like kind of showing you all the pieces, and not everything might go into the journal because it's quite some of the pieces are a little bit chunky. So let's bring on the dauber now and just kind of bring in some vintage photo embossing glaze, and we can have a look at what that looks like with the gold. We'll see what this looks like on here. All right. So it did make a little bit of a difference. Can you see how you can still see some of the gold, even with the embossing? And to see the difference, this piece has the gold underneath and the vintage photo. This piece of black card just has the vintage photo, and again on this one. So it did make a little bit of a difference. Why does that feel that's interesting. So what we're going to do now is bring the tags back. I think because it has the gilding wax on it, it feels almost, it's not, none's coming off, but it almost feels, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of creamy rather than shiny. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to bring these back, and we're going to have one here. Definitely going to probably have some fabric. I say we definitely probably, and one here. Like so, and we are going to fit our photos in, and I'm not using any glass or anything like that, or acetate. I'm just adding them to it. I know, who am I? I really just want to make some tags with in my favorite theme, with my favorite monster, rather, creature. Okay. Oh, I love it. I really do. He's adorable. Oh, some of that gold is up. It's still on my finger, that's why. Do you know what? Let me go wash my hands. I just did not want to be putting gilding wax everywhere on other pieces that I didn't want it on. So yeah, Wash my hands. So these tags aren't going to be identical, but they're going to have some similarities, but not identical. Oh. And there we go. Oh, so pretty. Let me put them on this white background. You'll be able to see them a bit better, I say, whilst throwing them all over the place. Right, on there like so. And he can be on here like so. Do I want to bring in some music or book page? Let me have a look. I feel like book page is good because they are, after all, from a book. So let me just cut this size. Sorry, I've got the book page over here, you can see. Oh my goodness. And this bit. And then let's cut this straight too. Okay, and we don't need all of this either, all of this white space. So there we go. Right. Let's bring on, if we just kind of rip it so that we have a piece here on there. Yep, I like that. I just need to cut it. Where's my pencil? Just need to cut it in there. And then we're going to ink around. Okay, there it is. Then we're going to ink around. Oh, I do want to stitch around that too, actually, I've just thought. And then this one, if we do it this way and have it kind of the opposite way, so I can, you can't see what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm lining these up on here like so, so I can trim that bit. It would help if I was doing things on camera, wouldn't it? It really would. I hear you say, yes, Belle, it would. Okay, and we're going to rip this. That one's going that way, so I want this one going this way. Okay. Again, they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be the same. They're just going to have some elements that might work together. So if you guys do, any of you who said you've been encouraged to pick it up, if you do read it, I'd love to know what you think. You can either leave a message here, or you could, my email should possibly be linked in the About Me section on my YouTube. So you could also message me that way, because I'd love to know what you think. I've said it before and I will repeat myself, even though it starts out with some letters and they seem a bit boring, just push through that and it gets better and better. So even though I'm like, oh, the letters, but I think I've read it so many times now that I kind of enjoy them. But I know when I wasn't, when I first read the book, for the first couple of times, the letters at the start were definitely the most boring bit. But they build the stage, as they say. They kind of set the scene. Okay, he's gonna go there. She's gonna go there. I like it. Now, do I want to stitch around these before I put them down? Yes, let's do that. So they have been stitched around. Now let's start building the background, or building up. Try and wonder if I want some behind them. So the thing is with this, it's so tricky to glue because of all the little fiddly bits. I mean, I could pop it up. Why don't I do that? Okay, so actually, sorry, I'm just grabbing, guys. I'm just grabbing my double-sided tape, foam tape. I can pop this up a little bit, just a tiny bit. Now let's have a look what we're going to do. So I have this stunning, can you see the sparkle on that? I have been playing with my Perfect Pearls. Maybe we can't pop them up. Pop them up one little bit. Let's do that. I've been playing with my Perfect Pearls and turning them into paints. And I painted this on some paper. And I just love it. I just really, really love how that looks. So I've been die cutting some bits out of it. It's done on black card, so you can really see that iridescent shimmer. And now, one of the things I'm going to be doing now that Creep on June is over, is I'm going to be playing more with that and doing some more painting with those. Because I've had my Perfect Pearls for, oh my gosh, I want to say 15 years. Feels like it's that long. It must have been. And I used to only just stamp with them. That was it. Just do the stamping. But I don't really do that anymore. So, well, I stamp, but I mean, I want to find another way of using them. So I decided to try painting with them on black card. And oh, I absolutely love the effect of that. Okay. Got that, brilliant. I don't want it up too much. I just want to pop it up a little bit off the background. So let's get rid of these. Honestly, it would be so good to just make a Frankenstein's journal whilst listening to the actual book in the background. That would be great. Okay. There he is. She's going to have some flowers, I think. Because don't they just look amazing? Sorry, I got very excited then. I really, really did get very, very excited. Got some purple ones too. These are not shimmers. They're just kind of in the background. I do like both of those. Okay, over here, let's think about him. I do have... this is from a new die that I've got. It's a light bulb, obviously, and then I've used some of the crackle accent on it, and I feel like he can have it over that side, so they're on opposite sides because he doesn't need, maybe he can have a tombstone. I don't know about that. We also have some potions. So we're going to have plenty of cogs and some potions. Trying to think about what ones. I have lots of the little potions too. I haven't really finished off a lot of these. And then maybe could she have a larger potion behind? Is that too large? I feel like it's too large. We could have a couple of little ones. Okay, I'm going to have to do something with that. So that is good. And we do need to come on with some cogs in places. Definitely. Let's just move all this over here. We also have this. Could even put the 5 on his. Okay, he also needs some potion bottles. I think that little one. Do we have another little one? Oh, we do. One in green. That might be fun to have. Like so. Maybe he just has the one potion bottle. maybe, and then some cogs around. Literally just playing and putting things in places, unless we have it right there. Kind of like his right there. I wonder if hers would go. Oh, that's quite cute. That is cute. He could have some ivy. Do I have ivy that's not completely in bits? All my ivy has decided to tear itself apart a little bit, which is fine. I could just cut some more. Don't know if I like that. Feather? Do we want a feather with him? Maybe it's the colour that's bothering me. Maybe that's the problem. Let's start building up though some cogs. I do have some metal ones as well. Maybe we want the light bulb like up a little bit, and then the potion bottle kind of there. Maybe. Then we're going to need some of these. It should not be so hard for me to be able to put this together. Oh, do you know what would work as well? I need to think about this actually. Hold on. What I am going to do, because I know I want it on there now, is I'm going to put this on the top of here, like so. And I just wanted to say, if you didn't know, but if you visit Edinburgh, there is, or there was last time I was there, a Frankenstein's bar there. Frankenstein's Monster Bar. It is amazing. I think I did in a, I think it was in a Margaret Miller a couple of years ago. I actually showed a picture of myself there, possibly. I don't know. I will leave a couple of pictures here as I'm making this. And yeah, it's just amazing. So I definitely recommend popping there if you live nearby, or if you are popping to Edinburgh at any point. So if it's still there. Oh, it was so good. It really was. I loved it. And the giant Frankie just took my heart. I'm bringing in some of the curator labels. I think they'll work really well under here too. And they can pop underneath like so. They can even go over the side. Let's just work on those, because he's just not coming together. She is, but he's not. He will. Maybe I just don't have enough cogs. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I needed some more. I didn't cut anymore. I just used, or I'm trying to use what I have, but I might need some more. So let me bring the curator labels over here so you can actually see what it is I am doing. Honestly. Okay. Need to do that. Maybe. Nope. Maybe it is this one. Maybe that will work. And a little green one. Okay. So no idea, other than I wanted to make tags. And now we're just going with the flow. Has she got... There we go. What is that all over your beautiful face? The bride. I mean, this would work on here, wouldn't it? Yep, so I'm going to put that to one side. We're probably going to have those, but I might still put another label of some sort. So let's put this little one on here too. I might also put some up there, actually. That might all be covered, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I say this all the time. It doesn't matter if things get covered. It's all about building a background you're happy with. And then that often helps you. Sorry if you can hear that noise. I have to open the windows, guys. I am so hot at the moment that I honestly feel like if I don't open the window, this video won't get completed. It's just that simple at the moment. So, yeah. I think today it's about 27 degrees, which is like 84, 83 Fahrenheit. It is so hot at the moment. Don't know if I want that there now. Okay, let's also do the same over here, and then I think things will start building up. I am going to stick that flower down because I know without doubt that I want that flower over there. So let's glue this down. So pretty. Okay, just dabbing it off on my glue book. And then let's put this down. Beautiful. Just like the bride. Let's put some bits and pieces on Frankie now. So I'm just going to quickly do that. So that's what his looks like. I like that. I like that. So we have them both now. And yeah, he's going to have his light bulb over here. I do think we're going to have a cog, maybe even sticking out the side of the tag. That would work. That would work for him. Unless I've got a metal one, that would work better. No, I think I like this one. This one will work. So that is going to stick out the side and have a brad in it. And we definitely need a little bottle of something. Hers is going to be there. And where did her little purple one go? Here. Like so. And we need a lot. I've got all sorts in here, but what have I got? We have another cog that could go on top or underneath again. Let's have a look at this one. I'm determined to get one of the metal ones in here. But that one just doesn't fit very well. This one does. And it could kind of go on top of both of these. Okay, I like that. Let's start gluing little bits of this down. And kind of having that on there. I'm overthinking too much, and I know I am. Light bulb. Okay. Because of the crackle glaze on this, it is bending the opposite way to the way I want it to actually go. Okay. I'm wondering about coming in with some brads on here. We could have one of the green brads and one of the almost black ones. Oh gosh, the bride has lost her potions. I think the black one would look really good there. And then I think this one will go down here quite well. And I'm not even gluing that down yet. Yes. Because, oh, I know what other things I had. Hold up, where are they? My little, they're like little, let me see if I can find them. So what I was looking for were these from the Backdoor ink cheese, Where has that gone to? Oh, darkroom door rubber stamp in steampunk inchies, DDRS 152, and I had a few left. And thinking about it, these would have worked really well on here. I mean, I still could put that one up there, and he could have that on his. And it's actually got a light bulb on. Do you see that? But that means we lose this. So I'm going to see if I can pull this up, because I don't want to lose one of the curator labels when it's going to be hidden behind this. We'll add this. And while I was at it, I just also embossed with some vintage photo these little bottles, but I moved the vintage photo around a bit more so you get more of this mottled yellowy brown look. I thought that would work well. So let's scrunch this up a little bit so it doesn't look too perfect. And let's add this on here for him too. You know, you suddenly just something pops in your mind and you go, hold up, where is that? That would work possibly on here. Sometimes it doesn't. But, oh yeah, I really like that on his one. I do. And it pulls in those light bulbs, like I said, both ways. I like that. I also have this teeniest, tiniest little bit of a green cog missing. Just the teeniest, tiniest little bit of it. And I think it might work behind that light, or maybe up there, even light to the side. No, I think I like it kind of behind the light. Let's do it. Let's do that. Oh, it had to be, didn't it? It just had to be a Frankie make for the final day. It just had to be. Okay, now that's not glued down, so it does move, but also I want to bring on the bottle, a little potion bottle. We could put another one behind maybe, or we bring in another cog, like another one of these, so that he can have plenty of them there. I don't think I like that one. I think that's my problem. We could bring in another green one. I kind of like it. I do kind of like it because she has the very large green flower, so it's good for him to have a bit of green down here. That works for me, and I will use another brad with this one as well. So we're going to bring this on and kind of about here, and it pulls in that one. Okay, we're just playing, guys. We're just creating. We're just having some fun. I am so sorry for that noise, but again, it has to be. Yep. Okay. Love that. And now we're going to put the little bottle on. That could go about there. I mean, now we've put the brad, the bottle doesn't quite fit, does it? But it could go about there. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. I'm just wondering if I want any cheesecloth. So I found some cheesecloth, a little piece left. I'm just wondering about bringing it on here along the bottom with that, whether I like that or not. I do, so I'm going to stitch that and then I'll glue that on. So there we go, a bit of cheesecloth, some extra stitching, and that's on there. I also did a little bit of stitching up there. Now I'm going to move him to one side for now because I want to bring her back and work a little bit more on her. So we have a bottle, and she could have another one there. That would work. Let's also bring in a cog for her down here, like so. Okay, I'm liking how all that is looking at the moment. We do also have another metal one that could sit on top. So it's like that. No, I don't like that one. What about this one? This one's thinner. Do I prefer that one? Possibly. What else have I got? I do have another light bulb, but I don't want that on her. We do have the tombstones, so I could possibly add one onto hers. I think I kind of like that, but I don't know if I like that particular one. I don't know if I have another large one here. Sorry, I just knocked you. Do have some flowers, could bring on the flowers. Let's see. Oh, I've just broken that one. Let's have a look what that looks like. See, I do kind of like those flowers too. All right, let's bring those on, even though I ripped one of the petals off. We do have a different one. No, I don't like this one. Hold on. Nope. Okay, we'll work with these ones, and then we'll start adding some, what they called, cogs onto here, like so. Okay. Then we're going to add one of these. Do I want a tombstone? Do I want one? A tombstone. Don't think I like that colour. I think that's what the problem is. Let me see how I feel about this. And we could have a date put on it, couldn't we? So let me get this all inked. Okay, so I used some of the texture stamps and I used the Halloween rub-on to give a date. And then I've put all these down. I put this one on a little bit of foam tape and added a green brad to that. I'm even wondering about coming in with this up there. That's the one we took off Frankie's, and why not just use it on here as well? I think it works on there. I'm just wondering about another little cog. Another little cog maybe there. Do we like that? I think I do. Do we like the red one? I think I like this one, even though it's super chunky. Let's do this one. Just there. Oh, and I added a little bit of cheesecloth. So again, it's similar pieces, but it's not all the same piece. It's not all identical. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I'm so in the zone, I'm barely even talking. Oh dear. Okay, so I think that's beautiful. I really do. All right, so we've got that, and then we have these little stamped images, which are little screws and bolts, which might work really well somewhere. Did kind of think up there on her, but then I don't like that, so no. What about another cog underneath maybe? maybe the gold one underneath for her. Pulling in a bit more of that gold. I don't like that either. This is proving to be tricky. Okay, I think we're just going to move these over and look at them side by side. All right, so side by side so far, that's what they look like. And that might be enough. I am wondering about on hers in bringing in a little bat, because bats are always good. I've got a sparkly one. Would the sparkly one work better? I do like it. We're going to have a lot of fabric there though, so I think I'm just going to have a little one on this. And he doesn't need a bat on his. I mean, I could add one, but I don't think he needs one. What this does need though is it needs a little bit of gilding or something on there. I mean, we could bring in two, but I really don't know, because we could have it on here, or we could have it down there. Put it there on her. Let's put it there. I like that. I do like that actually. We don't need that on his, I don't think. Right, on there. Okay, and what I want is, I've even got these clear cogs. That might be fun. What I want is to gild those. So I gilded the bats just a little bit with some gold, and I also gilded around the edge of here with a little bit of gold, but I'm wondering about actually coming on with some green on there too. And now I'm thinking I want to add just a smidge of hand stitching. That's what I'm thinking. So maybe along here for her, just a little bit of hand stitching. In the copperish thread, the Krennig one. It's all wrapped around all sorts over there, honestly. When Creep on June is over, when I finish my journal, there's going to be so much to tidy away. I just have stuff everywhere. Well, it's all in boxes, but it's still kind of all tied together and all that kind of thing. Just add a little bit on here, like so. Just that on there. And then we're going to have to add it on his too. So let me do that. So we're going to do his in a slightly different place. I need to find them first. That's it. And again, just bring on this little bit of hand stitching. Why can't I see today? This is almost like if Frankie's creature, if the creature and the bride actually got married and they would commission these pieces to hang in their house, and like the numbers on them could be the number of, you know, the body or whatever, their grave, when they, before their body was taken to be turned into the creature and the bride. And now what I think I want is, I really want her to have lots of kind of fabric. I think I've got some roses still, so I'm going to find all of that. So I'm going to give her just a little bit of fabric as a base, I think. Maybe. We're going to see. So she would have a beautiful tab on hers. And I've had an idea for Frankie's, that I don't know how it's going to look, but we're going to go with it anyway. And we're going to bring in some more beautiful green, because how can we not, for her. That needs to go this way, really, like so. Okay, that won't cut. What are you doing to me? And then I've got some of these beautiful roses. So I'm going to bring these in. But this net's too perfect, so I'm going to rip that with my scissors. Like so. I also think she needs some black thread as well. Just underneath it all. Okay, I'm going to go and stitch this on. So there we go. And what I also added was just a little bit of stitching there. And then we've got all these threads, look. So almost finished. But for him, I've had an idea, and I don't know how this is going to look at all. But we're going to give it a go. I'm going to add a chain to his. So let's get the brads out. We do have gold, so I could use gold on here, or the bronzy gold. I do just have the brown, or as I said, the gold. I think the gold, we're going to go for that, because I can use alcohol inks on it to make it a bit darker if I end up not liking how bright this is. So let's do this, and oh my goodness, and I guess we're going to see how this one turns out, and then we're going to splatter, and then we're going to be done. It's been a bit of a weird video today, it really has. I'm going to blame the heat, because how very British of me. Okay, so I have a chain to kind of add to this. Right, let's have a look. Let's get it added. I'm going to need a really big loop. None of these look big enough, because I need it to go through all of this, and I really don't think these are big enough. I might have slightly bigger ones. Let me check first if this will go through. No, let me check for the bigger ones. So I did find slightly bigger ones, but then I came up with another option. I am going to put the wire all the way through and then attach a loop, a link, little link one to it. That is what I'm going to do. I think it adds a little bit of an element of interest alongside. If I can actually get that on there. Okay, like so, and then we're just going to loop it onto one of these and close that up, and it just adds another little loop at the top, which I think works really well actually. And the great thing about this is you could actually then add other charms. We could add, where have they all gone to? We could actually add like a cog on there too, through there. We could do that. I also have, where is it? What I was looking for was some of these little labels that I got in Happy Mail, and that would have worked brilliantly on there as well. But then I found this cog that had 2 loops either side, so I have attached it again with some links, and that goes on there like that. Oh my goodness, guys. But it has made me want to possibly add a cog or something, or a charm of some sort. I have this little clear cog actually. Nope, nope, that's not going to work. It's made me want to add something to her, but I just don't know what yet. So I think we're basically done. What I'm going to do is, final thing, we are going to splatter, guys. No one's surprised. But we do have to first, I need to cover his face up. I need to cover her face and hands up. Everything else is fair game. So I'm going to use the Winsor Newton gold ink and the Winsor Newton black ink, and we're just going to splatter on here, off to the side. Definitely want it on those flowers down there and over here a little bit. Okay, and let's do the creature. Okay, and then let's bring in the gold ink. Not the gold ink, the black ink on here. A few little bits just there. A little bit on Frankie. Again, I know he's not called Frankie. I just call him that. And I know this works because I've tried it on something else. I'm going to come on with a little bit of black ink on, oh, not there, on these brads a little bit. I've got a little bit of just normal black ink. That's okay. All right, so the splatters are all dry. You can see I'm hoping everything's sparkling. The gilding wax. I added a little bit of the green, the sparkle on her, the embossing. Same with Frankie. Well, I know it took us a little bit of while and they didn't come together as easily as they could have. However, I do love them and I hope you do good too, guys. I mean, this is my final make for Creep on June. And I've just enjoyed just putting these two pieces together, these two tags. I absolutely love them. I love his change. I can definitely add more onto there. It just seems a very fitting end to Creep on June. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of you who've watched my videos, who have commented, who have subscribed, who have just been so supportive. And I also want to say a huge thank you to Tracy for all the hard work that you have done to put this together. You know, she creates the kits and puts all the hard work in and gets everything organized so that this can happen and for everyone to enjoy. So that's it, final day. I'm feeling a little bit sad, but I will be back in a couple of days with a video where I do a flip through of all the pieces, so you'll get to see them in their entirety together. And then in a couple of weeks I will show you the flip through of the finished journal and you'll see which pieces have gone in there. So once again, thank you again, guys. It's just been an amazing Creep on June. This community really is the best community, and your support, your kind words, your comments, it just honestly, it means the world to me. It really does. So you guys keep me inspired and motivated too. So thank you so much for sharing. But guys, that's it. Time to say goodbye to Creep on June. Time to say hello to July. But until next time, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're still going to have lots and lots of creepy, grungy, crafty fun. Bye for now, guys.